Welcome to Play North, the Manitoba Games Show. I'm your host, Bruce Krentz. This is episode number 2 of the show. Today we'll be talking to Dave Martin, the games coordinator. But just before we get to Dave, let's do a little refresher on some of the stuff with the games. We've only done one episode so far, and maybe people don't know. Games will be March 4th to 10th right here in Thompson, 2018. Manitoba Games, powered by Manitoba Hydro. We've got 13 sports, 15 events. The sports that we'll be hosting range from alpine skiing right down to wrestling. They include archery, badminton, cross-country skiing, curling, gymnastics, hockey, figure skating, speed skating, swimming, ringette, table tennis, and wrestling. That's 13 sports. There's a couple sports that have 2 events in them, so 15 events altogether. Dave Martin is the games coordinator for this year. It's largely a volunteer-run event, very much a volunteer-run event, but there is one paid staff member, and Dave's that guy. Dave, welcome aboard. How does it feel to be the coordinator so far?
A little surreal. You don't get a lot of time to really reflect on it. We got to push forward. Time is running out, but it's good. We're going to get it done. Yeah.
Like you said, most games do a 3-year planning cycle. Verdun gave up on the games and handed them over to us, so we're doing a 1-year planning cycle. So we're cramming a lot of stuff into that. You're sort of the overall, like we said, staff person, paid coordinator. What does a coordinator's role involve?
I'm essentially the primary liaison for the host society for the games. I'm also and I maintain communication and collaboration with the internal stakeholders, both provincial and corporate sponsors, just to make sure everybody's sharing the information openly, and we're going for the common goal, if you will.
Everybody's pointed in the right direction. We're part of the communications committee, obviously. There's, do you know how many committees we have? I think 10 or 12 different areas. And I feel like so far we've felt like there has been a bit of a challenge in that, and just feeling each other out. I guess we've had to do a bit of speed dating instead of getting to know each other. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, very much so. Different from other games in the past. As I said, the timeline's very compressed, and so a lot of things have to occur in parallel. Different from past games where you'd have time to really plan that out and work through more detail, if you will. So it's going to be a challenge, but again, we'll get it done.
And we've got you, so we're in good hands. Just to back up a little bit, we talked about the games are going to be March 4th to 10th. Where exactly are the games taking place?
The games primarily are going to be here at the VRCC, Valley Regional Community Center, as well as throughout locations in Thompson. There is, of course, some unique events that will happen at the Norplex Pool. Also the community cross-country ski trails, although I believe there's a name change on that. And Mystery Mountain Winter Park. I hope I got that name correct. That'll be for the alpine ski, of course.
For sure. So like you said, sort of the heart and soul of the games are going to be here at the VRCC in the high school, but then branching out a little bit around town. We're sitting in your office right now, or the games office, I guess, and this is sort of the nerve center of it. None of the games are going to happen here, but a lot of what goes on will, and especially right now as we're starting to get going with the games. So games committees are getting up and running. What are some of the things that the volunteers are working hardest on right now? I mean, eventually we're going to have to feed and house a bunch of athletes, but we're not buying a bunch of yogurt today.
No.
But there are some things that have to happen today. So what's happening right now?
There's many things happening, but I think to summarize is that each of the groups, each of the subcommittees are working to ensure these games are the best possible games they can be, both for the participants and the spectators. I think that's again, there's more details you could dig into there, but I think in summary, that's what everybody's working toward.
For sure. A couple of the big ones are probably, starting to get the word out on the dates. We want people not to be booking their winter vacation March 4th to 10th. We want them here in town. And I think the volunteer group, I don't know how much you've worked with them, but really we're putting a bit of a push on right now to get some volunteers.
Volunteers are critical. We need volunteers now and throughout the games, of course. Volunteers are encouraged to get involved. We really can't have too many volunteers. I've recruited my own family, and they're coming in from Ontario for this. So it's a big deal for me personally, and so I would encourage everyone to get involved.
Super, yeah, we can, the more the merrier, absolutely. What are some of the biggest things also right now that you think have to happen between now and the games? What are some of the real big milestones or the biggest hills we've got to climb between now and March 4th?
Well, we have to make sure we have many upgrade projects that have to be completed before the games can execute. Additionally, we have corporate sponsors are needed as well as personal sponsors. These games don't happen for free, of course, and so we need that monetary backing to bring these games to fruition. Additional to the volunteers, it all contributes to make the game a success.
For sure, I love that. And so if people want to become part of the Manitoba Games team, because this is going to be fun, I'm telling you, we want to get, like I said, the more the merrier. How do you get involved with the games?
Well, you go to the Sport Manitoba website, and you'll have to, excuse me, I just need to read it, but it's essentially www.sportmanitoba.ca/powersmartgames/winter 2018. And if you go down the page, you'll see a volunteers register now. Click that and begin your registration. I'd encourage everybody to do the electronic registration. The paper registration is fine, but eventually it has to go electronic.
For sure, and I know I went through that, and I found it interesting as you go through the volunteer registration process, because it does sort of have a pretty extensive list of things that you can get involved in, and there really is a wide variety of things. I think we think of it as sports games because it is, but we need a lot more than officials. We need food service people. We need people to help park cars. There's a real wide variety of things people can get involved in.
Indeed there is. There's a security or access control it's referred to. We have athlete villages we're going to need help with. As you said, the food service is critical. In the background, we have transportation. We have to move people around the city. There's logistics, warehousing. Really, any skill you can think of to bring a multi-sport event together is what's going to be required. For those people who don't want to be in front of crowds, there's lots of background stuff to get involved in and still be a part of the games and the excitement here forward.
Perfect. So what a way to put a wrap on it. Dave Martin, our games coordinator, thanks for joining me today. Everybody at home, find us on social media. We're at Manitoba Games on pretty much any platform you can think of, and use our hashtag #PlayNorth. That's a good way to stay connected to the games and help us promote what's going to happen here in Thompson, March 4th to 10th. This is Play North, the Manitoba Games Show.